Welcome parents to week 16 of the Ready program. We're going to continue with the calendar. As you can see on my calendar, we have a AB pattern for the dates, a blue-green pattern. You're going to continue with the days of the week. You're continuing talking about the month. And you can also talk about concepts of before, after, when you talk about the dates, what number comes before today's date of the 18th, it would be the 17th. Yesterday was the 17th. It is what number? The number 17. Today is the 18th. What number is it? Number 18. What will tomorrow be? Can you guess that number? After 18 comes 19. Tomorrow will be the 19th. You can talk about greater and less than. Today is the 18th. What number is less than 18? 17, 16, all the numbers that came before are less than 18. You can also talk about the concept of the beginning of the month, the middle of the month, and the end of the month. As we start at the top of the calendar, we are at the beginning of the month. As we move through the different dates, the different days, we come to the middle of the month. February is almost over. We can tell that because we're getting close to the bottom of the calendar. That is the end of the month. All of these are good concepts of time and numbers to help your child learn that vocabulary. Again, beginning, middle, and end. Top of the calendar is the beginning of the month. Middle of the calendar, middle of the month. Bottom of the calendar, we're getting close to the end of the month. Just some extra concepts for you to throw in there as they're learning about the calendar. We're going to continue with My Number and Shape books. Give your children the opportunity to recognize a number, count to that number, mark tally marks for that number, even draw objects representing that number. You can also take manipulatives to create that number. An extension, now that you've been working with this for some time, is give your child two different manipulatives, two different colored tiles, two different colored pom-poms, and have them create that number using manipulatives. They could use 6 pom-poms of one color, two of another, for a total of 8. That helps with creating a math sentence that we're going to talk about next. 6 plus 2 represents the number 8. Again, our number shape book. This week we have a new concept. It is called Make Your Own Graph. Basically, a graph is a picture representation of a collection of objects, whatever it is that you're collecting. To introduce it, we are going to use our color tiles that you have. And I want you to give your child a group of, I have red, yellow, and blue as my example, a group of color tiles of different amounts. And then you're going to ask them to sort them out by color, all the reds together, all the yellows together, all the blue. And then you're going to create a graph, which is a picture representation of what you've collected. And they will take the different colors that they've sorted and you will put them on the graph. And then they'll be able to use this graph to identify which there are more, which one has the least or less amount, which one has the most, any kind of math terminology to talk about our graph. You can see that over on this side are the numbers that tell the quantity, how many we have. And at the bottom, it tells us what we are sorting. We're sorting our tiles by color. We also want to title our graph, and we could title this color tiles, represented with the numbers over here and how many we're sorting, what colors we're sorting down here. So when you look at this graph, your child can take and see that how many blue do we have? They look at the blue, look over to the number. We have 3. They can tell the amount without even counting the objects. Red, how many do we have? We have 5. And the yellowy 2, which one has the most? 5, because it's taller. So now we know that 5 is greater than 2. 3 is greater than 2. That picture representation to give them their math quantities. You can do all different kinds of graphing. When they get to school, we do things like who is wearing a long sleeve shirt, who is wearing a short sleeve shirt, girls, boys, people with long hair, people with short hair. You can graph different things and then title. You can graph my favorite colored cars, and they can sort their cars by color. You could graph food items. If you have a snack mix of goldfish, raisins, marshmallows, how many goldfish are in our snack, how many marshmallows, and sort that way. You can give a handful of M&Ms and sort those by colors. So it's just a way to sort objects and then have a visual representation of that. And we call that a graph. Again, this activity is called Make Your Own Graph. The next activity is called Think It Through Math Problems. This activity teaches your child basic academic vocabulary and an opportunity to use in the future reading tied with math. That's why it's very important to learn some of these concepts, because as your child gets older in school, they'll need to be able to read in order to do math. In your packet of things, you have these different little animals, chickens, you have some pigs, you have some cows. In this activity, we are going to use a 10 frame, and these are the math concepts you're going to be teaching: addition and subtraction. And with our 10 frame that you have in your packet of things, you're going to make a story. And we're going to talk that maybe the farmer has 2 cows. He buys 3 more. Have your child put on 3 more. How many cows does he have altogether? 2 plus 3 equals 5. 2 plus 3 equals 5. Now, if we do a subtraction using these same cows on our 10 frame, the farmer had how many cows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 of his cows run away. How many do we have left? 1, 2, 3. 5 cows take away or minus 2 equals 3. Basic academic vocabulary for creating word problems. So you have a variety of different word problems on your cards that you can use your 10 frame and your animal manipulatives for. You can do this with any objects. You can talk about this with your tiles and create word problems. You can talk about this with your favorite toys at home. If you have 5 of your favorite dolls and 3 of them go to sleep, how many are awake? Any of those, using these basic academic vocabulary to create word problems. You can do it with snack. I have 5 M&Ms. I eat 2. How many do I have left? 3. 5 minus 2 equals 3. I'm going to give you 3 cookies. We're going to add 2 more. 3 plus 2 equals 5. 2 plus 2. If I have 3 cows, 1 runs away. How many do I have left? 2. 3 minus 2 equal 3 minus 1 equals 2. Again, think it through math problems. The next activity is a review. It's count and compare. We're going to use our playing cards again. Take out the face cards. You're going to put out 2 different cards, and your child is going to compare those 2. And they can use the alligator mouths again. The mouth opens to the larger number, or you can write the symbol yourself. So we have 3 and we have 4. Put the symbol in between, and remember to read it left to right. 3 is less than 4. If we switched around, 4 is greater than 3. Count and compare using the playing cards. The next activity is the card game War. Again, you're going to use your deck of cards, taking out the king, queen, and jack face cards, and then the ace. You're going to divide the card deck into 2 even piles for you and for your child. If you have another sibling that wants to play, you can do 3 cards. That makes it a little trickier as the child gets better at this game. But each person plays a card out, and then you compare the 2 numbers. If the child has difficulty recognizing the number, have them count the symbols on the card. And then we talk about which one is a higher number or the greater number, which is the number that has less, which one has a lower value. And the person that has the higher value card gets to take both of them. The winner is the one that has the most cards. Again, this card game is called War. The next activity is a review. Can you make a pattern? I like using the pony beads and the pipe planner only because not only are we doing the math concept of a pattern, but we're also using that fine motor. It's a very, very good activity. You can also use the straws that you've cut up. You can string those on a piece of string. That's a little bit harder to do, but anything that you can make patterns with, and you're using your fine motor at the same time, that we have combined skills there, not only of the math patterns, but of fine motor. Another way that you can create patterns helping with your fine motor is using that tear art paper, have 2 different colors and tear off pieces, and then create an AB pattern or ABC pattern or ABBA pattern using torn pieces of paper. Again, we refer to this once they get into school as an ABAB pattern. This is a color pattern. Blue is A, B, A, B, A, B, A. So it's a color pattern, an ABAB pattern. We want to talk about those, identifying it as an ABBA pattern or an ABAB pattern or ABC pattern. It's a little bit, a concept that's difficult to grasp, labeling it that way, but it's what they refer to it in the classroom. So our pipe cleaner, ABAB pattern activity. Can you make a pattern? Sequence is a review activity we're going to do this week. Again, we're going to use our tiles, and we're going to complete the pattern that's already been started on the card. This is a color pattern of green, blue, red, green. Have your child name what comes next and place the tile. We can go back and label it as using the AB terminology. Green, A, B, C, A, B, C, and finish the pattern. There's some on both sides. Next, we have the rainbow straws. You were given straws at the beginning of the Ready program in your bag. Purpose of this activity is to really strengthen that writing hand and teaching cutting, that that firmness of the straw increases that strength of the hand. If you've used up your straws, you can cut things like cardboard, your toilet paper rolls, your paper towel rolls. You can try cutting pipe cleaners. Those are a little bit more difficult to cut. You can cut small snips in a heavier paper. Anything that helps strengthen that writing hand using the cutting. You can also cut Play-Doh. It's not as difficult to cut, but it gives just a different texture and a different feel when the child cuts. And as they make snips, roll out a snake, Play-Doh snake, and then go ahead and cut that up. And then they can use those pieces they cut to do another activity, whether it's a counting activity or a pattern activity, but you can use those materials for a variety of different things. Again, that is your rainbow straw. Purpose is to develop fine motor and hand muscle. The next activity is called chalk words. Purpose of this activity is to, again, increase that fine motor and present the letters in a larger format so they get that muscle strength. This could be done with chalk outside, or it can even be done with crayons. You just present the letter a little bit larger. You can write the child's name. You can write letters that you're working on. You can give the child a letter or a letter sound and let them write the letter themselves, and then you go back over it using the rainbow effect of different colors. This is a fun activity for students in school. We do rainbow writing and they write their names. Again, you want to make the letter a little bit larger than typical, so that it's also a way for a gross motor activity as well, and muscle strength, and really using those hand muscles. The last activity this week is my word book. You continue with recognizing the letter, naming the letter sound, finding pictures that represent that letter and beginning sound, drawing pictures that match that letter and letter sound. If you've filled up that book, an activity that I did with my students is I created, we did letter art, and we wrote the letter on a piece of paper, and then they glued different objects that represented that beginning letter sound. So if we were doing the letter P, we would glue pasta on here, polish, nail polish, popcorn, paper pieces in the color pink and purple. You could glue on a penny, anything that begins with the letter P, and we would cover the letter in objects that begin, actual objects that begin with that letter. So that's a kind of fun extension if you've been doing a lot in your My Word book and you want to do something different. That's all we have for you this week. You'll have a great week learning.